Hello traders, this is Jim Comiskey coming to you live from ADM Investor Services. It is currently Tuesday, April the 3rd, about 2:30. It's been basically a stark contrast today. Most of the day volume was like the lightest we've seen literally in a couple of years in everything. And then the FOMC minutes just hit the tapes about an hour and a half ago, and the metals actually absolutely fell out of bed. Okay, basically the Fed is it's one of these situations where Bernanke offers the prospect of the next QE, okay, and then he takes it away, and this is what we get. Okay, we get these very, very severe pullbacks, okay, based on the prospect of no more quantitative easing. So the metals absolutely fell out of bed, as did the stock market, although both are since recovered. The gold is currently down $33 to 16.46. The silver is down 32.60, or sorry, down 50 cents to 32.60. S&P down 8.5, 1404. The Dow is down just 66.0, 13,060. Okay, let me give you support and resistance real quick, and we'll start with a bit of a rant. Okay, first of all, we're, as you might well expect, with basically a $40 pullback from the highs today, we're through all support. Okay, but our first resistance in the, first support rather, in the June based on another formula, okay, comes in at 16.3350. All right, below that, 16.2650. All right, resistance comes in 16.5330. Above that, 16.6550. Okay, support in the silver. All right, comes in at 32.15. Okay, below that, 31.97, kind of tight. All right, resistance silver should come in 32.52. That'd be initial, actually. That will now act as support. We're at 32.69. Okay, 32.88 is the pivot. Okay, so that's going to be first resistance above that, 33.43. Okay, like I say, it's on again, off again with QE. Hence, this market it's schizophrenic. Okay, and it reflects on the Fed. Okay, give you Goldman's take on the FOMC minutes. Okay. This is Zero Hedge carried this, okay? Shout out to Zero Hedge. Minutes from the March 13 FOMC meeting showed that the committee did not discuss monetary easing options in detail, in contrast to our expectations. And this is why the market turned turtle like this. However, several participants suggested it could be helpful to discuss at a future meeting some alternative economic scenarios and monetary policy responses that might be seen as appropriate under each one, in order to clarify the committee's likely behavior and different contingencies. So this basically what they're alluding to is like a staff presentation on easing options going forward at the April 24th, 5th meeting. Okay, but you know what? With the endless parade of jawboning that the Federal Reserve conducts, speeches. There's very little doubt in my mind that one or some of the Fed govs are going to allude to the next QE. Okay, so the metals are going to reverse course here. And by the way, today's price action, another perfect example of why you must use stops if you're trading futures. All right. When you put on a trade, okay, as a trader, you got three choices. You go long, you go short, you don't trade. Okay, but when you do place a trade, you're by its very nature, okay, you're incurring risk. All right, stops give you the discipline in your trading to manage the risk, mitigate the risk. Okay, I can't preach that enough. For those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that's I practice what I preach. All right, back to Goldman's write-up on FOMC here. In their discussion of current policy, a couple of members said that additional stimulus could be needed if the economy lost momentum or if inflation seemed likely to remain below its mandate consistent rate of 2%. The lack of support for immediate easing among current voting members suggests that any action at the April meeting is highly unlikely. So there you have it. We take out the next QE. Next Bernanke's speech that's scheduled, he's probably going to be putting it right back in. Okay, so maybe a good way to play the metals markets at this point would be incorporate an option strategy. Okay, your risk's known to the penny for the most part, unless you're selling premium. And you can manage, you can weather these $35 moves in a heartbeat, right? If you'd like to discuss option strategy, get in touch with me. You know how. Okay. Anyways, here, this is priceless. Okay, I'm gonna file this one under. You can't make this stuff up. Okay, the Obama administration is now blaming Israel for rising fuel prices. The Obama administration is blaming Israel for the recent. By the way, this is in the Israeli national news. The Obama administration is blaming Israel for the recent rise in global crude oil prices, according to the Sunday report in the World Tribune. The rise in fuel prices is deemed as harming the U.S. economy and has also hurt Obama in the polls as he seeks re-election in November. It's all about Obama. I think maybe the Israelis are worried about a nuclear-armed Iran on their next door, at their next door. But we're going to blame them for the increase in oil. We're not going to talk anything about refinery shutdowns. We're not going to talk about the massive percentage decline in new drilling on federal land. All right, we're not going to talk about any of that. We're going to talk about Israel actually standing up for itself here. They're to blame for high U.S. oil prices. Certainly part of it, but definitely not even close to 10%. All right, the report was cited by a leading U.S. analyst, Robert Satloff, who returned from talks with Israeli officials. Satloff, executive director of the Washington Institute for Near East Policy, said, according to the World Tribune, that the Israeli leadership saw Washington as attributing the higher gas prices to Israel's posturing on Iran. They think the Iranians should be held responsible for higher gas. He added that officials told him the Obama administration was staging a campaign to undermine Israel. I cannot underscore how deep and visceral the Israeli comments of the leaking that came out of Washington were, noting Israel is alarmed by what officials determined were leaks by the administration of U.S. President Barack Obama of purported Israeli preparations to attack Iran. The Israeli concerns came in the wake of a report in Foreign Policy magazine last week, according to which Israel has purchased an airfield in Azerbaijan on Iran's northern border, prompting the United States to watch very closely, because it's all about Obama. Okay, so it must be Israel. Does Israel not have a right to defend itself? Is that where we're going here? It's more important that Obama gets reelected president than a sovereign nation defend itself or act to defend itself. That's crazy. Anyways, let's move on. And we'll end this one on a little bit of a lighthearted note. Joe Biden, priceless. Man's never met a misstep he didn't like. All right, this is Fox News carrying a little story here about some of the Bidenisms that occurred over the Sunday talk shows. Just thought I'd hit you with a couple of these. All right, first of all, let's see. Biden, he offered wild assertions that didn't even get a mild pushback on Sunday morning talk shows. For example, Biden said that Mitt Romney wanted to bankrupt Detroit, let Detroit go bankrupt. All right, but GM and Chrysler did go bankrupt. It's fairly obvious. The bankruptcies were decided by the Obama administration, and God help any GM bondholder whose value of his investment went to zero overnight. Okay, and then the unions got theirs, didn't they? Let's see. Rather than going forward with an infusion of private capital and the ability to cut legacy costs, the two businesses, Chrysler and GM, received $85 billion from taxpayers, with at least $24 billion of that never likely to be recovered by taxpayers. Okay, Mr. Biden went on. Admitting the bailout wasn't a very popular action, Mr. Biden said that General Motors was now the largest corporation in the world and hiring hundreds of thousands of new people. Okay, Joe, how many people do you think work at General Motors? 204,000. Okay, that is down from 280,000 pre-2008. All right, and then he goes on to say that it's the largest corporation in the world. All right, GM is, I mean, by what measure, right? GM isn't even number one in America. It's 23rd in the U.S. measured by the number of employees. Its market cap is $41.9 billion. Okay, compare that to Apple at $575 billion. Admittedly, Apple's the other extreme. Okay, GM's revenues last year were 135.6 billion. Walmart's were 421.9 billion. Joe Biden, the gift that keeps on giving. Anyways, that's pretty much all I got, guys. Sorry that I'm posting later and later as the days in the last couple days. Market conditions are totally the reason for this. I will endeavor to post earlier in the day to make some of this information a little bit more useful. But I'm going to say it again. I got some decent responses on email. All right, if you would like me to shoot you reports that you can get support and resistance and stuff like that in a timely manner, more timely manner, please shoot me an email. I'll throw you in my address book, and every single morning at generally about 7 a.m. Central, I send out reports. Okay, and they just keep flowing as the day goes on. My email address, jim.comiskey@archerfinancials.com. Okay, or give me a call at the desk. Please feel free. My toll free is 888-935-7979. Or if you need to call me on the outside line, it's 312-242-7996. Or leave a comment on the YouTube chain. I'm more than happy to respond to those comments. Okay, love a two-way flow of communication. That's pretty much all I got for you guys. Look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.